Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got another really interesting combo to try out, and I actually think it might have some decent potential. We've tested these shells through this shotgun before, but in a different shot size, and they were surprisingly solid, so maybe this particular shell with this shot size might work out nicely. We've seen some rather impressive results from this shotgun with this shot size from other shells before, so I don't know what we're in for. Hopefully we can get something pretty decent out of it overall. But first up, we'll start with the shotgun we're running today, that being my old 1952 Browning A-5. This one is a 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch only chamber. It's got a 28-inch barrel on it with a fixed full choke. It measures right about 685 for a constriction, so a little more close to a modern extra full, but these old shotguns tend to run a little bit tight sometimes. Either way though, this has been a perfectly solid turkey combination. Definitely 30 to 35 yard capable, and we have seen a couple shells that it really likes and that it is truly 40 yard capable with. So maybe we can continue that trend today and get another 40 yard capable turkey combination here, but we'll see what we get. Before the shells we're running today, I brought out some more of the Winchester Super X turkey loads. These ones are the 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch, 1.5 ounce payload of lead 5s at about 1260 feet per second. We've tested these same shells, but in 4-shot through that old A5 with some actually 40 yard capable turkey patterns. They still weren't the favorite shell for that particular gun. That still belongs to the Remington Nitro turkeys, surprisingly enough. However, that gun has tended to prefer 5-shot, so now we've got these shells in 5s, and we'll see what they can do. Maybe they might be even a little bit nicer down there at 40. Before our test today, we're running everything the same as usual. Even though that is an older fixed choke setup, not going to handicap it at all. Our shot is still going to be at 40 yards through the chronograph as well. So let's get you guys to view that target and see what the Super X5s can actually do through this 70-year-old Browning. I think it's going to do good enough to do the job, but how condensed of a pattern are we actually going to be able to get from this combo? Let's see what we can really get. Okay, that shell gave us 1221 through the chrono. We have a boss claim of 1260, so we are a little bit under that, but we're still floating up towards that mid 1200 mark. Nothing out of the normal here. So let's go check out our 40 yard target and see what kind of pattern capability we actually do have. All right, well, now we're down here at our 40 yard paper, and it really isn't as good as what I was hoping we would get, that's for sure. First up, do we have a dead bird at 40 yards? Yes, indeed we do. There's one definitely pretty much right through the eyeball there, and another couple right on the edge of the brain, as well as another one right in the middle of the neck down here in lower spine area. So that is indeed a 40 yard capable pattern, but you can see that it is quite a bit more on the broad and open side, and it's got some bigger void areas in it as well. Definitely not nearly as good as what we have seen from other shells. The Super X4s were better than this for sure, and the Remington Nitro turkeys way outshot that in both 4s and 5s. So not exactly what I was hoping for. It is technically 40 yard capable, but I would probably try and limit ourselves to 30 to 35 yards or so potentially with that kind of pattern. But that's why you test different things and see what you can get, because not all combinations are going to perform the way you think they are. So as for our pattern here, you can kind of see that it started to condense itself down into a somewhat circular pattern. You can kind of see that circular edge down around the right towards the bottom here. And then we kind of have a hotter spot over down in front of this bird. And right up in front and kind of right behind his head there, there's two big thin spots. We have enough pellets up to the head and neck to do the job, but it starts to definitely get a little more blotchy as we get farther out. We kind of don't have much of a core. This whole bottom half corner over here is kind of hotter than the top half is, so just not overly even of a spread either. And if anything, that's kind of what I expected to see out of this setup. Usually with older fixed choke guns like that, you get a pretty even spread of pellets. Even if it isn't overly tight, usually they give you a pretty decent spread of pellets without any kind of major voids or flyers or something like that. But what we see here, just isn't quite all there. Now, granted, we know how limited this setup is and we're pushing it to 40 yards, but still not exactly what I was hoping for or really expected to see, to be honest with you. So we see that it technically would be 40-yard capable with a turkey there, but let's pull our paper down. We'll finish counting some pellets and we'll get a little better picture on how this pattern performed throughout the entire thing. All right, so now we've got our turkey target down and out of our way, and we can kind of see what's going on here. And it's about what I kind of thought, to be honest with you. Within our 10-inch circle here in our core, we have 52 pellets with a pretty decent little thin area there towards the top middle of it as well. It's technically a good enough core to do the job to 40, but that's as far as I would push it. And I would definitely want to see it in a little closer than that for sure if I was going to take this hunting. Outside of that, with our 20-inch leeway, we pick up an additional 97 pellets around there. The bottom end of it might be a little bit hotter and maybe a little bit over there on the right than we have up here at the very top. That's kind of the thin stripe across there that I was looking at earlier. And outside of that, of course, we have our fair share of little stringy bits way off over there on the right and up here towards the top as well. So overall, looking at that pattern, it might not be a terrible pattern on its own. If you were going to run this kind of combo for a general field load type of use case, sure, that would absolutely work. Whether it be smaller game, you know, rabbits, squirrels, that kind of stuff, or if you're hunting pheasants or something on the wing, that could absolutely work, although it is technically more shell than what you really need. But when it comes to turkey pattern in particular, even though we might technically have done the job at 40, I'm calling that a 30, maybe 35 yard type of pattern. So maybe a little disappointing compared to what we know the potential of that shotgun can be with a couple other loads. Even the Super X4s outshot that performance from that same gun at 40. So not exactly what I was expecting to see. I guess it's not too much of a surprise if we consider what the shell is, what the gun is, what kind of choke system it has, and the distance we're pushing it to. Might not be too much of a surprise, but ultimately, I'm still a touch disappointed overall. I was at least hoping to see a little more condensed of a spread, like we saw with the other Super X loads. But that's why you test your guns with as many different shells as you can, because some of them are going to do better than others, and some of them are going to be a little surprisingly good or bad, a little more or less than what you think they can do. So pretty middle of the road here today when it comes to a turkey type of pattern. It's okay, but I still would much prefer to run a Remington Nitro Turkey 5, at least from that particular gun. And here's the wad out of that shell, very typical Winchester stuff. Same wad they use in most of their other turkey loads, so nothing special to see. Looks perfectly fine overall, nothing out of the ordinary to take note of on this one. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that performance right there? It's okay. It's not necessarily a terrible pattern in of itself, but like we already discussed, we have seen much better and much more 40-yard capable turkey patterns from that exact same gun at 40, so not exactly what I was hoping to see overall. Again, not a bad pattern, just not as good as we know that we can get. This is still a perfectly fine turkey huntable combination, but if I'm gonna hunt it, I might just have to limit myself to 30 to 35 yards or so. And that's fine. You're hunting with an old shotgun like that, taking a 30-yard shot or so, that's a pretty typical type of range limitation. So not all that surprising for what it is, but we know that it can be 40-yard capable with other shells. So take it for what it's worth, I guess. The Nitro Turkey 5s, at least through my gun, are still a better performer than what we got here. And I was definitely hoping to see better from a 5-shot as well, since that gun seems to like 5-shot a little bit better. But that's why we test different things and see what happens. But leave all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these 2 3/4 inch Super X 5s? And if so, what kind of results have you seen? Is that a combo or a pattern you would actually hunt with? Would you push it to 40, or would you keep it at 30 to 35 yards or so? And maybe what other shells might you want to see us try through that old A-5? I don't want to test it a ton necessarily, especially with these bigger, heavier, more stout shells, but if there's something you might want to see, then you can let me know. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, you have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All the information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.